In the Torah, a matter is established at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. On March 12th and 13th, 2026, a single question was brought before the Life Force experiment 3 separate times. Will Israel strike Iran with a nuclear weapon? 3 independent draws. 150 verses pulled from the Urim Thummim version. 34,425 verses of scripture, selected by cryptographic quantum entropy. No human hand chose these texts. No algorithm shaped their selection. And 3 times, the mathematical verdict returned the same direction: affirmative. Draw 1 under shield 10.3. Yes at 98.1%. Draw 2 under shield 11.0. Yes at 98.7%. Draw 3 under 11.0. Lean yes at 98.8%. The probability of an affirmative answer never dropped below 98% across any of the 3 draws. The polarity balance index never wavered from affirmative. The guidance detection indicator escalated from strong anomaly to extreme anomaly and held there, a departure from randomness at better than 1 in 2 million odds. The numbers are scaffolding. What did the text itself say? Each draw opened with a lead verse, the first verse drawn, the face of the entire inquiry. Read in sequence. These 3 lead verses form a single narrative arc. The first draw opened with Jeremiah. Refrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, because your work will be rewarded, says YHWH, and they will return from the land of the enemy. This is Rachel weeping for her children, a text of catastrophic loss followed by covenantal restoration. The first face at the door was comfort. Something terrible is coming, but the covenant holds through it. The faithful return. The second draw opened with Ezekiel. You are your mother's daughter, that loathes her husband and her children. Your mother was a Hittite and your father an Amorite. This is YHWH's mirror held up to his own people, exposing the pagan roots still woven into their national identity. The second face was indictment. The one who strikes is not innocent. Her heritage is violence. The third draw opened with the words of Joshua, the Messiah, in Luke. Woe to you, for you build the tombs of the prophets, and your fathers killed them. The sharpest word of all. A woe oracle diagnosing the cycle of generational violence disguised as honor. The fathers killed. The children build monuments and keep killing. The third face was confrontation. 3 draws. 3 lead verses. The father moved from pastoral comfort to prophetic exposure to direct woe. And at every step, the answer remained the same: yes. But understand who is doing this and what it costs. The fire imagery across 150 verses is extraordinary. In Draw 1, the burning fiery furnace of Daniel appeared, the archetype of imperial power wielding overwhelming fire against the covenant faithful. Revelation gave us fire cast from the heavenly altar to the earth, thunderings, lightnings, earthquake. A city was set ablaze. A consecrated burnt offering consumed what was offered. And through it all, the 3 walked through the furnace unharmed. Draw 1's fire was survivable. In Draw 2, supernatural fire sat upon the priestly tabernacle in the sight of all Israel. Waters of judgment transformed into a fire that burns for the ages. Hail and coals of fire fell from the cosmic skies. The highest gave his voice. Draw 2's fire was accompanied by the divine presence. Not chaos, but consecrated destruction. In Draw 3, the fire transmuted into aftermath. Revelation spoke of torment lasting 5 months, like a scorpion sting. Not immediate death, but prolonged suffering. Ezekiel described the valley of Hamagog, where the stench of the dead stops the noses of those who pass by. The dead are so numerous that the geography itself is renamed. Draw 3's fire was measured by its consequences: the body count, the burial, the lingering agony. Across 3 draws, survival within fire, then fire as divine accompaniment, then the cost to what fire leave behind. The arc does not retreat from the affirmative answer. It deepens the understanding of what that answer means for those who live through it. The third draw produced something the keyword engine missed entirely. It scored 0 direct textual hits, The words Israel, Persia, and Elam did not appear on the surface. But the text said something far more powerful than a keyword. Daniel, verse 2, 3:7-3:3. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. In Daniel chapter 8, the ram is explicitly identified as the kings of Media and Persia. The ram is Iran, and the draw, pulling at random from 34,425 verses, selected the very passage that describes Persia's military defeat in the prophetic archetype. Cast down, stamped, none to deliver. The corpus did not need to name Persia by word. It showed the image of Persia's destruction. Meanwhile, the first draw had placed calamity from the north in Jeremiah and the cessation of fortresses from Damascus in Isaiah. The second draw surfaced the war census of Numbers and the sword that the victim did not notice in Joab's hand. The third gave us the ram and the valley of the dead. 3 draws built a single military narrative: preparation, sudden strike, and total defeat. What makes this triple draw extraordinary is not the statistical replication alone. It is the simultaneous presence of judgment and mercy across all 150 verses. In Draw 1, the lead verse commanded, "Stop weeping. They will return from the land of the enemy." In Draw 2, Isaiah declared that YHWH waits to be gracious and is exalted so that he may have covenant mercy. In Draw 3, the Book of the 12 promised that YHWH will pour on the house of David the spirit of sacred grace and supplications. Grace poured out on the very house that bears the woe. Covenant mercy extended to the nation whose origins are Hittite and Amorite. The promise of return given to the people whose fathers killed the prophets and whose children build their tombs. The fire and the grace are not sequential. They are simultaneous. The same hand that permits the strike pours out the spirit of supplication on the one who strikes. The dominion triad, the convergence of identity, inheritance, and priesthood, never fell below 692% of baseline across any draw. It peaked at 831% in Draw 2, more than 8 times the expected rate. The guidance detection indicator registered extreme anomaly in 2 of 3 draws at odds exceeding 1 in 2 million. All 3 polarity verdicts were affirmative. The Segula marker, the treasured possession, held at 266% in both Shield 11.0 draws. 3 witnesses. 1 testimony. Yes, the fire will come. It comes as judgment upon what has been weighed and found deficient. It will appall the nations. The ram of Persia will be cast down with none to deliver. But the covenant faithful will be held. They will return from the land of the enemy. The light of the cosmos accompanies those who follow. Even in the valley of Hamongog, where the dead are buried in such numbers the land is renamed, the covenant hand does not release its own, and the one who strikes is not absolved. 3 lead verses built a cumulative indictment. The daughter of violence, the child of Hittite and Amorite, the generation that builds tombs for murdered prophets while perpetuating the killing. The yes does not mean righteous. It means certain. The matter is established at the mouth of 3 witnesses. The fire falls within the covenant. The guilt remains. The grace is poured double, and the census is already